Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we discovered Michiru is an idiot, but she's an idiot that doesn't catch colds. Mostly because she's either really soaking up vitamin C, or maybe just too dumb to actually catch them. I'm really enjoying learning all of these things about the characters and getting all of these little details. Cannot decide who is my favorite yet. It's still a little bit early, but I have kind of a preliminary.
Two. It's between three.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Between three.
Yeah, I feel like
kind of between two, but the third one would be the two of them are in this game, and then one of them is the one that I know I would have done in real life.
Fair enough. I feel like I know who the two bottom are. It's a little fuzzier for the top three on mine as well.
I guess I do know 4 and 5 and 3 on my list.
That makes sense. So I'm assuming like Michiru and probably Makina are probably the two bottoms.
Yes, but not in that order.
Yeah. It's the same for me too. It's not that I don't like them, it's just in terms of preferences.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Sakaki's 3 for me.
That's fair.
And then 1 and 2 I don't know. Like it's a toss up.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten a lot of information about Amine so far.
Yes.
Just quite a few scenes, but Sachi's a little bit more open, but her sarcasm was the one that really surprised me.
Sachi jumped up. Yeah. Sachi jumped up last episode.
That's about what I expected. Several days after the cold incident in the dormitory, once again, I encounter Michiru drinking something sour in the lobby. From the way she's writhing in agony, she doesn't seem to have gotten used to it in the least.
Why are you so caught up on drinking sour things? You don't seem to enjoy them. Do you enjoy making yourself miserable?
If this is just one facet of a deeper masochistic fetish, I'll have to demonstrate a certain level of acceptance and understanding.
うっさいわね。こうやってビタミン C を摂取すれば頭が良くなるのよ。あんたそんなことも知らないの？
I don't think that's how that works.
What? Who published a thesis like that and genuinely where?
I like to think I have a basic familiarity with the benefits of vitamins, at least. Vitamin C's effects are so famous that I'm actually surprised to hear anyone was still researching it.
論文？それはわかんないけど、ほら、イワシとかマグロの頭とかそういうのに入ってるの聞いたことあるでしょ？ビタミン C が。
Sardines. The head of tuna.
Sardines, tuna, and a positive effect on the intellect.
I think I get it. Mercury.
何よ。今さら気づいたってあげないからね。私はあんたよりも絶対に頭良くなって見返してやるんだから。
Alright, bet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
何さ、その余裕の表情。教えられる立場になった時に初めて後悔するがいいわよ。
Unfortunately, judging from the way she's confusing vitamin C with DHA, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But to explain her mistake here and now would be too cruel. I'm sure she'll naturally discover the truth herself someday.
No, she won't.
No.
Well, you may not be capable of teaching me much at the moment, but I'm counting on you to help me out if I get sick.
何よそれ。
Don't worry about it. You just keep up the vitamin C intake and regular sleep patterns for everyone's sake.
あんたに言われなくてもそうするわよ。
Well, it will be.
I love how she doesn't get sick.
I know.
Not because she's trying to be healthy, but because she's so stupid.
Yep. Hey, but you know, her routine works for her. So, good on her.
It does. But not in the way she wants it to.
No. Spitting out a venerable tsundere stock phrase as her parting shot, Michiru stalks off. I don't stick labels on people prematurely, but
I do eventually.
yeah.
Once enough research happens.
Yeah. But regarding the girl named Matsushima Michiru, in consideration of various events up to and including the current case, I have arrived at a certain conclusion.
まったく気取っち
My
ゃって
hypothesis
ビ
is
タミン C で頭良くなるのは私だけなんだからね
This girl is,
that brain juice.
in fact, an idiot. Oh, I wish I had known that was going to be the concluding scene. That would have been a good one for the last episode. But how were we to know?
Yeah.
Probably because I've been living in a world where maintaining a decidedly realistic perspective is a matter of necessity, I've never felt any interest in the paranormal or occult phenomena. Do-do-do-do-do. Such stories are often frauds, created to prey on the weakness of human nature, and more fundamentally, I've never found any meaning in the idea of the supernatural. But in my workplace, where human lives are frequently given and taken, these sort of rumors aren't uncommon. Even a disinterested party like me has absorbed more stories than I can count on both hands.
11.
トンネルに近づいた人ってその後どうなったわけ
When he got back, he went delirious with fever. His limbs grew numb and eventually totally immobile. When a doctor examined him, they couldn't find any cause for his condition. They threw in the towel and let him rot in bed.
マジもんじゃないのよさそれ
Well, it's based on a true story, but the names have been changed to protect their identities.
風見さんが言うとどこまでもリアルに聞こえますねどうせユージが怖がらせようとして嘘の設定を後付けしてんでしょ実際は何事もなくピンピンしてて今でも連絡取ってるとかそういう
No, that's really what happened, and he died a month later.
Here, I pulled up his obituary.
いや嘘テンプレでいいって嘘って言ってよ嘘って
Which template?
I don't tell lies, even white lies. He's dead. Left me a little something in his will.
いやーチルチルは怖がってるのか喜んでるのかわかんねえ反応なのよさ
Yes.
みちる様はびっくり箱のようですねまさに文字通り
Such as they are.
And here's the witch she would be scared out of, if she had any. Compared to the reasonably calm Sachi and Makina, Michiru's in a state of serious terror.
救いないわ一切
Amane's expression is also strangely cramped. From the way her Kansai accent is leaking out, I'd say she's not quite unaffected herself.
やっぱり呪いとかそういうのが関係しているのでしょうか
Don't know. He wasn't that healthy to start out with, so there's a good chance he just picked up some illness that killed him.
でもお医者さんが見ても何もわからなかったんでしょ
Yeah.
もうだから怖いってそういうの持病あるとかそういや半年ぐらい前から咳してたとかそういうソースないのねえ
I'm pretty sure General Grievous was in great health.
Well,
His lungs were fine.
totally fine.
Nope.
Michiru clamps her hands over her ears and thrashes around, moaning like a wild animal. Though the course of her evolution seems to have reached a new stage, this isn't the time to study that hypothesis.
Were you scared? Oh, sorry.
違うわよ怖くなんかないわよびっくりしたのよ怖いのよ
You want to review that again?
みちる様落ち着いてください結論が時計の針のごとく元通りにだってマジじゃんこいつ普通は気を使ってもうちょい緩い話にするのに容赦一切なしで優しさかけらもないしまあいいじゃないかチルチルがここで恐怖のあまり失禁したとしてもみんな何事もなかったかのように振る舞う優しさは 用意しているのよさ。
Makina's also trying to run up the list.
Yeah, really. I can't tell if Makina is the type that just repeats what she's heard on television or if she's actually a little bit cruel. Either way, I'm interested to find out.
失禁しねえよ。あとそれ優しさじゃないから。残酷だから構え。
Understood. If and when Michiru pisses herself, I promise to pay close attention.
すんなよ。
Well,
All right. At any rate, my story's over, so let's stop for now.
there are 5 candles in front of us. I blow out the flame on the last one that's still burning.
And thus concludes this
Hi.
meeting of the
お
Midnight
疲れ様
Society.
でした皆様。
Alright. Sachi turns on the lights and begins to clean up the candles. Oh, that was such a good show.
It was so good. Oh, I remember that so much from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
They did bring it back, though,
I think that's probably...
for a little bit.
No, I remember it was in 99 or 2000.
That sounds right.
Because I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember that one. from
Yeah,
around
yeah.
then. Yeah. Because we were still kids when that one happened.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to remember if they had another one that came out. I feel like they did, but I really don't know.
They might have. But I remember that one because I guess technically I never caught the originals when they aired. I only caught them on repeat. Yeah.
Just FYI, for those of you who are not familiar with what we're talking about, it's Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. It probably does not hold up
I don't know.
unless you were a kid, but it was a kids like anthology horror show. And it was really good for that time.
Yeah.
For a low budget Canadian kids horror show, definitely held up very well.
I actually feel like it would probably hold up decently well, all things considered. I mean, it's not... It was like in the same vein as Goosebumps. I mean, yeah, the quality maybe wasn't... Well, no, for the time, the quality was really solid.
For a low budget Canadian
Yeah.
anthology horror TV show, I feel like it was really good. The pool episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the effects hold up, but I remember the pool, you know, the ghost that like drowns people.
Yeah.
I remember that one when they make it like corporeal and it's the skeleton. I remember it looking really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to watch and see if, I don't know if
Me
the
too.
episodes are anywhere, but it'd be great to see.
I'm sure they have to be.
Yeah, probably. After dinner, for some reason, we all ended up telling scary stories in the lobby. It was a standard campfire-style ghost story round, with everyone having a try at frightening the rest. We won. Maybe the lukewarm summer night made for a good atmosphere, as everybody got into it.
なんだかんだ言って最後のユージくんのが一番怖かったわ。風見さんの話は虚飾がない分だけ本物っぽく聞こえましたしね。
Well, it's not fiction.
ちょっとやめてよ。最後は嘘でしたで終わっておくのがせめてもの優しさってもんでしょ。
I don't have any of that.
If I told you it was just a story, now, would you believe me?
She might.
信じるわよ。ちゃんと言うなら信じるから。
She'll just keep saying it was a story over and over again until she eventually believes it.
All right, got it. The story about the tunnel, all a lie. Also, my coworker is alive and kicking.
It wasn't a tunnel, it was a bridge, and it was my second cousin.
あやっぱ無理信じられないわよなんとかしてよ洗脳してよそういう機械持ってきてよ
I thought she was gonna transform into Sailor Moon for a second there.
or become a Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Oh man, I don't know why I was watching a bunch of clips of like Tuxedo Mask being useless. And still my favorite character.
Yep.
Still absolutely my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
I think they'd give up after a few minutes with your brain.
Ignoring Michiru's hysterics, everyone starts to head back to their rooms.
What, are you kidding? This is like if somebody tells you, hey, I'm gonna pay you to clean my house, but it's like a 15 square meter room.
Yeah, really? At this point, I realize something's been a bit odd about tonight.
Come to think of it, I haven't seen Sakaki.
I have the feeling that Sakaki is really afraid of the supernatural and ghost stories.
Yes, she is. I would guarantee that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The others pause at my words, then turn back around with thoughtful expressions on their faces.
そういや、今日は見かけなかったわね。さっちゃん見た？いえ、今日は学校では見かけましたが、寮では見た記憶がありません。私はちらっと見たけど、すぐに部屋へ引っ込んじゃったから、その後はわかんないのよさ。
Maybe she didn't want to deal with us in a group.
I can see that. Given Sakaki's personality, I can't imagine her voluntarily participating in this sort of social event. My guess would be that she just shut herself up in her room since she couldn't avoid running into our gathering if she went downstairs.
いや、あの子って別にそこまでこういうイベント嫌いじゃないわよ。
Just you, Yuji.
Really?
まあ積極的に参加してるかというとそうでもないけどね。でも参加しておかなきゃって意志みたいなのはあると思う。
She just lurks in the hallway, listening in, and then says, I'm not really paying attention. Don't pay attention to me. Amane nods at Michiru's words.
そうね。普段みんながここで集まってる時も、あそこに背中くっつけて、立ったままで話聞いてたりするもんね。
You know what? I'll count it. I was pretty close. She points to a pillar on the edge of the lobby and the hallway.
はい。だから今日この場にいないことは比較的異変のように感じます。
I see.
ユミちゃんはわかりやすいテンプレみたいなクーデレだから照れてんのよさ。お兄ちゃんがちょっとスケベ心出して突っ込んだら。
You have to be getting this from somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere. She reminds me a lot of the little sister character from Aishitel.
I can see that.
Yeah.
だってそんな恥ずかしいじゃないって速攻落ちるに決まってるのよさ。
But less obnoxious by far.
What's funny is, like, imagine that literally just be how her route starts.
You know, actually.
Like, Makina is 100% correct about everything.
Yeah, I would love it. I really would love that.
Me too.
はい、それぐらいの対応はあってしかるべきではないかと思います。榊さんは精巧なロボットのように的確なクーデレぶりを常時発揮されますし、今回の一件もそれに起因するものであるのはもはや明白であると思われます。
Speaking of robotic. Also, why do you feel like the Deadpool character in this situation?
私なんか今すごくユミコに同情しちゃったわ。同情？なんで？ひょっとしてチルチルもわかりやすい属性持ち同士、その辺は分かり合える部分があるとかそういうの？同族意識？チームプレイ？
What on earth?
ひょっとしてチルチルも分かりやすい属性持ち同士、その辺は分かり合える部分があるとかそういうの？同族意識？チームプレイ？
I don't know why she played the audio again. That's weird. At least it sounded like it.
うるせえ！あんたのそういう必要ないじりに同情するって言ってんでしょうが。大きな声を出さないでください、みちる様。急に大声を出すとお体に触ります。私は無鉄砲に生きるみちる様が心配でなりません。
Holy crap.
Sachi, gunning for my number one spot.
Wow.
サチもなんかなそういうの。
She really seemed so prim and proper at first, but boy, she's got an edge.
She's as prim and proper as, like, what is it? What is it, Jeffrey? In, Fresh Prince?
Oh, yep. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
I had to think about it for a second because I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't watched that show in so long. But yeah, totally.
No, I haven't watched that show in a long time. But yeah, where it's like the butler character, but also with a very sarcastic edge.
That's a pretty common character, especially in that time period, because
It is.
I can't remember the character's name, but the one from The Nanny, he was the same way. As I watch Makina, whose abusive tongue and nasty personality are growing more pronounced, Sachi, whose cyborg-like reactions are growing more dramatic, and Michiru, who's growing more victimized by the day, I find myself growing a little curious about Sakaki's way of life. Come to think of it, since that box cutter incident was resolved a few days ago, I don't remember exchanging anything but very basic communications with her. I don't intend to pry too deeply, but for the sake of a smooth school life from this point on, it might be a good idea to learn a little more about her.
Huh. Hey, there's something I want to ask you guys. Do you have a few minutes?
We really are just... Everybody gets their own little segment episode.
Yes,
I like it. It's a good way to get to know the characters.
it is.
気のせいかしら。
No, it's real.
危なかったのよさ。はい、さすがに勘が鋭いですね、榊さんは。
Like her box cutter.
We're just playing Metal Gear Solid.
I mean,
It was just my imagination playing tricks on me.
we're just roaming around in the orange box.
When you're being followed by this many people, of course, you're gonna know.
Yesterday evening, I tried lightly asking the others about Sakaki's daily life and habits. But the answers I received in return provided much flimsier information than I had expected. The one thing that we know about Sakaki Yumiko is that she doesn't let people see much about herself, much less her private life. Our only real glimpse of her thoughts are hints from her gestures and body language. In short, Sakaki's lifestyle is a vaguely defined mystery, even to the people she's been living with. Without an active effort at observation, things are likely to stay that way.
だからこそ、ユミちゃんの生態を調査するのよ。
Probably 80% out of idle curiosity, Makina and Sachi ended up volunteering to cooperate with my investigation. That is good, because Michiru would have been a terrible tale. She would have given us away in no time. And Amine's too tall. That cooperation has taken the form of an incredibly sloppy tailing operation that was nearly given away in a matter of seconds. To be honest, they're nothing but a burden, Makina in particular.
I asked the wrong people.
I disagree.
どうか
No,
した
I
の
think
よ。
50% of this team I could see being effective.
Yeah. I can't see anybody else being effective, though, because,
No, you are right. No one else would be effective.
like, Amine at best would have been partially effective, but again, her height would have given her away, and also she's not that
Yeah.
subtle.
She's too big and not subtle.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Makino is an okay choice, but Michiru would have been the worst.
Absolutely, yeah. No, forget it.
If things get bad, it's every man for himself. Putting aside any reflection on the basic question of why we're doing this for later, we continue our investigation of the highly mysterious Sakaki.
棒のように足が鳴って疲れたのよ。
Lying limply on her side of the sofa in the lobby, Makina mumbles a few grammatically scrambled words of complaint.
結局、何一つわかりませんでしたね。
Sachi flops down next to me, heaving a tired sigh herself.
Well, her guard was even tighter than anticipated.
After spending an entire day following Sakaki's every movement outside the class, we gained absolutely no new information. During her free periods, she reads books in absorbed silence. Her pace in school was always steady and regular, without any suspicious hasty movements.
人間味が感じられなかったのよさ。ロボットっぽいというか、無機質な感じがしたのよ。
The pioneers used to ride these babies for ages. Just as Makina says, Sakaki's behavior was reminiscent of a machine.
はい。あれではまるでサイボーグのように思います。
Well, you're an android, so I could see there being some rivalry there.
You're one to well, whatever. You're not wrong.
But I don't think I can be satisfied with this. From what I heard yesterday, Sakaki doesn't dislike being in a group with the others. Even if she doesn't participate in the conversations, the way that she's consistently lingering at the edge is easily comprehensible from the perspective of human psychology. That doesn't fit with her machine-like actions in the daytime.
In the first place, does she ever let emotion show on her face?
Oh, we've seen it. When we caught her hand when she was going to slap us, she definitely was showing emotion. Apart from the hostilities Sakaki showed me at first, I haven't seen any evidence of an emotional reaction from her.
そういえば、喜怒哀楽とはちょっと違うのですが。
Sachi raises her hand and speaks somewhat hesitantly.
榊さんがびっくりしているところを見たことならあります。
She's like a cat.
Startled.
ええ。
Sakaki? It doesn't seem like she'd bat an eyelid, and even if the dorm exploded under her.
What kind of surprise got a reaction out of it?
In response to my question, Sachi continues in a slightly hushed tone.
榊さんにはかなり不本意な話だと思うのですが、そのカップ焼きそばをですね。
Instant yakisoba.
はい、おヤングのソース焼きそばです。湯切り楽々ホールが標準搭載。熱湯3分。
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Not interested in the brand name or product features. But how does it work?
Yeah.
And what does it have to do with Sakaki?
Who is its daddy and what does it do?
カップ焼きそばって湯切りをするじゃないですか。
Oh, well, you're getting the answer, whether or not we wanted it.
Yay!
お湯を捨てた時にシンクが熱湯に反応してボンって音を立てるのわかります？
Incidentally, Jiffy Pop is her worst enemy.
True. It'll make a sound if you dump it all at once.
Oh, or it's like when you're making something in the oven and your baking sheet or something makes that loud popping sound.
Yep.
God, that scares the bejesus out of me every time.
はい。それで同じことを榊さんがして。
I think the reason it doesn't scare me is because I have no cooking ability. Really?
Fair.
So everything I make is either in the oven or the microwave.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
うん。
Aw.
Oh.
I feel bad for her now.
焼きそばが仕方ない。榊さん、これそのまま。で、私は後片付けをして帰ってきました。
Huh, Sakaki did that.
With that cool and calm appearance, you'd never think that she'd be startled by something as small as that. In reality, she must have a pretty low tolerance for sudden scares.
I kinda wanna see that side of Sakaki.
But at what cost? But I'm not particularly likely to run into her at the exact moment she's draining her instant noodles. And given Sakaki's personality, I doubt she'll make the same mistake twice anyway. Although I wouldn't mind seeing her cautiously filling the sink, preparing a strainer, and tensely draining the hot water either.
いいな、それ。私も見てみたいのよさ。
Unfortunately, I doubt she'll do it twice.
それは湯切りの話でしょ。別の方法だったらいいのよ。
What?
Makina lightly jumps off the couch, floating a diabolical grin. Oh boy.
ユミちゃんを待ち伏せして驚かしてやればいいのよさ。
I see a few flaws with this plan.
What are you saying?
面白そうだけど、榊さんをひどく怒らせることになるんじゃないのかな。
Yes, that's one of the flaws. Just as Sachi says, when you consider the aftermath, trying a stunt like that on Sakaki seems like a very dangerous plan.
私だけでやるから大丈夫なのよ。バレないようにやるから平気なのよさ。
But Makina's malicious curiosity seems to outweigh her awareness of the risk. Oh boy.
サッチ、そろそろ帰ってくる。はい、あと2分ほどで玄関に到着します。
Are we actually using walkie-talkies? I really hope so. Intelligence arrives from our detached unit, namely Sachi.
これであとはターゲットが近づくのを待つだけなのよさ。
Is this really gonna work?
万全なのよさ。お兄ちゃんはそこで高みの見物を決め込んでおけばいいのよ。
Just as Makina says, I'm hidden near the hallway, observing the scene.
ユミコが驚くこととか本当にあるのかしら。
I feel like having Michiru here is introducing a vulnerability in the plan.
ってなんでチルチルもいるの？
Ah, that was not part of the plan.
いいでしょ、気になるから来ただけよ。
Sakaki climbs her way up the stairs, approaching the second floor hallway. In that instant, Makina calls out instructions into her cell phone. Aw.
今なのよさ。
Pull the lever, Kronk! At Makina's signal, Sachi cuts the breaker to the hallway from the other end of the phone call.
何？
Sakaki is taken aback for a brief moment.
停電？困るわね。
But her voice quickly regains its usual steadiness. Once again, her footsteps ring out in a regular rhythm.
おそらくターゲットはそのビビリの性格ゆえに停電で真っ暗闇になった今はきっと神経を張り巡らせているはず。
Right as Sakaki approaches the door to her room, Makina presses the switch in her hand.
何？
Sakaki twirls around at the odd noise, but finds nothing more than a flower pot sitting demurely on a nearby shelf. Very mindful. In the unremarkable earthenware pot, there's nothing but a small decorative plant. Sakaki sighs in relief after discovering the innocuous origin of the strange sound. But she hasn't taken her eyes off the houseplant yet. That houseplant's doing something fishy.
でもそれゆえに一度安心すると普段以上に緊張が緩むのよさ。
As Makina whispers these words, she presses a switch the second time. Just then. That's amazing. The perfectly normal houseplant abruptly splits in two down the middle. From its depths, an object resembling a giant eyeball emerges. Although it might be different under bright light, seeing this thing pop out at you in the dark must be something of a shock. Yeah? As expected, Sakaki freezes dead on the spot, her eyes and mouth open wide. Something that might be an attempt at speech and might be a simple gasp leaks out of her mouth. After a moment, she draws in a giant breath of air. And in a loud voice that I never could have imagined emerging from Sakaki's mouth, she screams. The sound echoes throughout the dorm. It's not just that she's loud. Unlike her normal, low, vaguely threatening tone, Sakaki's voice right now is remarkably girly.
Huh.
Although I feel a little sorry for Sakaki as she trembles in terror, this is a truly interesting spectacle.
ユミちゃんマジ驚きじゃない。どれどれ、どんな顔してる？エッチな顔とかしちゃってる？
What?
あんた鬼だわ。
what?
本当に。
Actually, yes.
ちょっとチルチル、もうちょっと見せてよ。ここだとあんまし見えない。
Abandon ship. Abandon ship. It's about to be compromised.
Yep.
あ、ちょっと押さないでよマキナ。
Run. Losing their balance, Makina and Michiru tumble from their hiding position, landing in front of Sakaki. At this point, Sakaki finally grasps the nature of the situation. Oh no.
あはは、ユミコ、どうしたの？停電しちゃったみたいね。
Pocket sand?
A pocket sand.
急な停電だったからびっくりしたのよさ。
Oh god. Just then, Sachi returns with exquisitely bad timing.
やりましたね。お見事です。作戦は大成功。
After adding some exquisitely unhelpful lines, she clamps her mouth shut. Yumiko looks around the faces of everybody on the scene, and then glances down at herself.
どういうことかしら。
Oh.
So that's where I put my horror prop for the play. Oh, sorry about that. The tone of her voice has completely returned to normal.
いや、これはね、ちょっと理由があって。うん、チルチルがやろうって言ったんだよ。
Ah.
おま、濡れ
Oh no, the bus.
チルチルも楽しんでたんだから同罪だよ。粛々と無所暮らしするがいいのよさ。だったらあんたも罪を償えよ。私一人悪者でしょ、今の言い方。
You know that.
何が目的かわからないけど、あなたたちが
I
仕
mean,
組ん
to
で
be
いたの。
fair, it is the last person that I would believe if someone was like, "Hey, she was the brains of the operation."
Yeah, that is a compromising thing. That would not work. Why do I feel like we're going to end up getting blamed too, though?
I mean, technically.
Well, yeah. It was Makina's plan, though.
Yes.
報復は覚悟の上ということでいいのね。
落ち着いてください、榊さん。ユミちゃんが怒った。なんで私の方めがけて追っかけてくる。ちょっといや。
As the perpetrators scatter around the dorm, Sakaki tracks down Michiru. There's murder in her eyes. She's waving her box cutter around like an incarnation of wrath. Where did the person who let out that cute scream go? She's dead.
Don't think she's gonna calm down anytime soon.
Well, it's about time to hit the old dusty trail. Turning my back on the violent turmoil taking place on the upper floors, I head downstairs by myself.
The Homer Simpson disappearing into the bush.
That was the smartest thing he could have done. He was the only one not compromised.
Yep. Yo, you're up early.
誰かさんに下劣なドッキリを仕掛けられないよう早めに学校へ行くことにしたのよ。
I have no idea what you're talking about. After that, Sakaki caught the criminals and beat the details out of them after they groveled in penance before her. Aw, man. As a related party myself, I was called before her to receive my own interrogation. In the end, she heaved a truly exasperated sigh, and without any particular retaliation, returned to her room with heavy footsteps.
Good idea. Don't know about Sachi, but Makina and Michiru are probably still asleep.
What?
Sorry.
Sakaki reaches her hand into the pocket, presumably containing her box cutter, glaring reproachfully at me. I raise my hands dramatically over my head in an attempt to demonstrate my lack of hostile intent. In response, Sakaki sighs deeply, passes by my side, and strides off quickly in the direction of the school building. Ooh, dodged that one.
So you mind if I ask you something?
I really hope we're standing back a reasonable distance.
これ以上、私に何の恥をかかせる気なの？
Not today. As I follow her a few steps behind her, Sakaki answers my question with her own, her voice hard with an attempt at intimidation.
I'm not looking to tease you or look down on you. It really just is a question.
わかったわ。じゃあ手短に言ってちょうだい。
Much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Not brief enough.
Did you? Yeah, it's not. Did you know everybody had a late night gathering in the lobby 2 days ago?
そうみたいね。
I wasn't interested. So she was aware of it after all.
If you knew about it, why didn't you join in? From what the others told me, you don't particularly dislike that sort of event.
That's none of your business.
If me being there made it awkward to join in, could you, say that why? I need to know before I can try to correct my behavior.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. I'm
Yeah,
clearly...
it's valid.
Yeah, I'm clearly an alien existence in this school, much less the dorm. I don't intend to trample on the native people's territorial rights or the dignity of their culture, not that I plan to be particularly submissive either, but still. As much as possible, I'd like to aim for peaceful coexistence, meaning I need to understand the boundaries I shouldn't cross. For that reason, I want to know why Sakaki absented herself the other day. Especially if it's connected with me in some way.
別に、あなたに直してほしいところがあるわけじゃないわ。
Okay, that's progress.
Okay. Well, in that case, why?
In response to my question, she hesitates for a moment. Rather than being uncomfortable about speaking her feelings to me, I get the sense that she's reluctant to admit the truth to herself. After a silence of about 20 seconds, Sakaki finally speaks.
私、怖い話とか嫌いなのよ。
Ah, I was right. Truly unexpected words. Well, not for me.
Nope. Wait, what did you say just now?
そんなに意外そうな顔を向けないでくれる？
Apparently my face is easy to read, as Sakaki reproaches me with a resentful expression.
あなたの言う通り、別にあそこに集まったりするのが嫌なわけじゃない。けど、いいでしょ？人には苦手なものだってあるんだから。
That doesn't stop Michiru. Judging from the way she got scared by the sound of a sink denting, and the dramatic success of the prank yesterday, I did gather that she was your standard scaredy cat, but it just feels weird hearing her actually come out and admit it.
Yeah, that's the surprising part.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It just seems really out of character.
I suppose it's fair because Yuji asked with sincerity, so she gave a sincere response.
あなたに直してほしいところが一つできたわ。
Alright.
What?
その無神経さよ。少しは人に気を使ったらどうなの？
I lack that capacity. After Sakaki speaks those words, she makes a beeline toward the school building, without stopping or looking back again. From her dignified bearing, there's not the slightest hint of the person who shrieked at that prank.
I guess I should just leave this one alone from now on.
As the first step toward mending my apparent insensitivity, I decide to refrain from teasing her further. At any rate, through this incident, I've discovered that even this stone-faced cutter woman has her cute side. Oh, these descriptions. They're amazing. Stone-faced cutter woman. Imprinting. Newborn chicks identify the first thing they see as their parent. The more you know. The term refers to this sort of rapidly formed durable conviction.
I always wondered because it's imprinting really only happens with creatures that are born in eggs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Does that apply to like crocodiles
I do not know.
or like alligators?
I don't know if reptiles have the same kind of thing because I think oftentimes the parent usually isn't around when the eggs hatch.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if there are certain ones.
I think it's more typical with birds. Yeah, I think it works differently
Yeah.
for different creatures because I think in a lot of cases, like fish, for example, a lot of times, they're just left to their, or turtles, they're left to their own devices. It's like, okay, good luck.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's only specific creatures. Today, almost anyone you ask will have heard something about the phenomenon, but fewer know that imprinting isn't limited to the animal kingdom, but also occurs among humans. Even average female students. Okay. This particular discovery is the product of my own recent experience.
風見さん、こんばんは。
Ah, it's Sachi's turn.
Yeah.
When I leave my room, I find Sachi heading toward the second floor with a deck brush and a bucket.
Is this a set cleaning time for the dorm?
いえ、そういう決まりはありませんよ。
Sometimes I just get the urge to clean and I just go for it.
Then why are you carrying a bucket and a deck brush?
それは、これから大浴場の掃除をしようと思ったからです。
I'm going to give the bath a bath.
I mean,
If I remember correctly, you told me a contractor comes in to clean that.
but it's not up to my standards.
はい、その通りなのですが、業者さんが私たちも毎日来られるわけではないので、日頃の手入れはお願いしますと言っていたので。
Oh, okay.
So you're cleaning it on your own initiative.
はい、時間があった時はみちる様やあまねさんも手伝ってくれるので、そんなに大変じゃないんです。
I guess that's sort of class rep-esque, but more importantly,
You intending to clean in that outfit?
of course she is.
はい、なるべくメイド服でというのが皆さんからの希望なので。
When you can, huh?
Considering the vagueness of those words, I'm a little concerned about how she's interpreting them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like she really... It is like a computer program. You must be specific.
She takes it literally.
So when you go out, what do you usually wear?
This.
メイド服です。
How about when you're studying in your room?
メイド服です。
When you're in the bath?
すっぽんぽんです。
Okay.
When you're sleeping?
メイド服です。
Okay, I get the picture.
Okay, you know what? To be fair, I half expected her to say something about the maid uniform, like she had a version of it for the bath, but I don't... Naked as a jaybird would have not been the phrase I would have thought of.
Nope. But, you know what? It is one of those things, like, I guess technically when you can.
Yeah.
If you interpret that literally, yes, you will sleep in the same thing.
True. Basically, she's in a maid uniform pretty much every moment she's not in school. No wonder the principal said she wears them more often than not.
But wearing a service uniform, even when you're sleeping, is a little... Wait, hold on. Don't tell me you don't have any other clothes.
持っていますよ。
They're all different maid uniforms.
You just look in her closet and it's like Doug Funny's closet. It's just all the exact same outfit on repeat.
Exactly.
So what? You just really enjoy the uniform?
どうでしょう。最初はただ着ているという感覚だったのですが、
But now I just don't know who I am if I'm not in my maid uniform.
よく見るとところどころにあしらわれたこのフリルも可愛いですし、今では往年来から愛用していたもののようにしっくりきています。
Huh.
So basically, she likes the clothes themselves.
In that case, Sachi, let me give you my opinion on your style. Please
はい、
don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I mean, let me think. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess different folks, different opinions.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why you have the different appeal of everything. Yeah.
True.
Fundamentally, men are simple creatures. Rather than clothes with a narrow appeal like a maid uniform, we prefer simple, straightforward erotic look.
つまりすっぽんぽんということでしょうか。
That is an option.
Oh, that's a bit extreme. Also, it takes time and effort to change the appearance of your body itself.
ということは下着。
Right.
Well, he did say he was going to give his opinion.
You know, he did say that, I guess. Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. For example, I'd imagine you're wearing modest underwear appropriate for a student, but what do you think would happen if you, the class rep, flashed everyone a peek at unexpectedly adult lingerie?
どうなりますか？
The momentary glimpse of unpredictability would dramatically shift the way that people perceive you.
All 5 of them.
なる
I
ほ
was
ど。
gonna say, like, there's like
目から
5 people
鱗
here.
です。
So
She really likes that phrase.
what?
I think she's used that phrase before.
She might have.
I think when we first met her, there was something when it was like, "Are you here to cause trouble?" or whatever she said. It's like, "I see the scales have fallen from my eyes." Okay,
Yeah, I think you're right. She's used it twice.
I'm not making a counter.
In conclusion, it isn't something you hide, it's something you show off. Keep that in mind.
なるほど。下着は隠すものではなく
Wait,
見せるものでもあ
hang
る。
on.
Oh no.
下着は
No.
隠すものではなく見せるものでもある。
Stop this process. Stop that function before it finishes running.
But if you do go past the casual level with this, it'll backfire on you. Do it in moderation.
I think the program's already executed. You forgot the semicolon.
Yep.
Well, that should be common sense, but
覚えました。
Alright, I think I've got my point across.
you got something across.
はい、
Mhm.
わかりました。
This is going to be interesting.
This is gonna go very badly.
Yes. With those words, Sachi headed to the second floor. At that time, I had forgotten something very important. At this school, there are students for whom common sense doesn't always apply. Oh, this is going to make an interesting next episode.
ああ、ユージおはよう。
Uh-huh.
Hold that thought, Michiru. We're going to see the aftermath of our poor decision next time. As much as I would love to see it now, we are out of time. But boy,
This was 100% a case where you thought that some things were like already built into the program as safeguards. That is not true.
nope, there's definitely some lacking guidelines somewhere in there. Anyway, that was fun. We got to see a surprising side of Sakaki with her scared reaction. Also, I love the Audrey 2-esque plant in the hallway. That was great.
Yep,
Feed me, Sakaki.
that was really good.
Feed me now. And I'm excited to see where we go with Sachi's episode next time. It's also going to be really funny if when we record this probably a week from now, we've forgotten about this and we come back to this delightful surprise and then it comes back, because that's likely what will happen.
Oh yeah, yep.
All right, well, that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. Yeah, I have the feeling you're not going to want to miss it because it's going to be hilarious. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.